daily to daily to daily to daily go get a mism show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it whiz? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off fast lane, no coasting. Let's get it popping.
All right, let's get into a little something.
All right,
let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all know what it is.
Yeah.
It's the new intro, baby.
Yeah.
So we talking about faking orgasms tonight.
Yeah.
Talking about faking orgasms tonight. Have you done it? Would you do it? Have you been through it? Word. Let's get into it. Everything is gonna be all right. I've been through it. I don't know if anybody ever faked it, but even if they did, I think I could take it. Cause everybody has their reasons for doing what they gotta do, and sometimes you never knew that you could have got through it with a little communication. But sometimes that's my sensation. It's on some other stuff, and I understand the times are getting rough, but you can still talk to me, my dear, because you can put it in there, make it clear. And I say that we don't have to fight, and we can do things and always make it right. And tonight is Thursday, is let's get real about relationships, So y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Ladies, have you faked orgasms? Y'all know some of y'all have. It's not always a sinister thing. It's not always a sinister thing. I can understand to a certain degree. To a certain degree. Let's get it popping, baby. Let's get it popping. We good?
Yeah.
Where we at?
Yeah.
So. Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. Just trying to make sure I'm not behind on the stream. Trying to make sure that I'm not behind on the stream. Yeah. So we gonna keep this thing popping. Everybody knows that the record will be dropping. The album is being put together. It's like a different album, not with a whole lot of songs. Making sure I don't go wrong. The songs is something that I've seen right in my face, and I said, man, it's gonna be all right. We gotta do this thing and always keep the game tight. And I'm right here for you. I would never have to make you get a lawyer. You don't have to sue, but the things that we gonna do would make anybody wanna be my boo. And I know that I'm still gonna try. We don't have to drink, ain't gotta get high, but I'ma stay fly. Make sure that you are too, and everybody's gonna be all right, including you. And if you're not all right, then I'm not all right, because we go together just like that warm weather. It blends in from the fall to the winter and the spring to the summer. No bummers. Everything is good, y'all. We're gonna still with it. Work that wood. Word. Emily Dunlap is in the place. It's always a good thing to see your face. What's up, man? How y'all feeling, man? Everybody good? I ain't gonna play the whole joint. But then again, hold on. We're gonna do this last verse. As we take it to the end, I gotta let y'all know that y'all my friends, and it's more than a friendship. It's sort of like a business. When I look at the whole thing, what is this? Is it something that I really recognize? Am I coming through cutting pies with the girls and the guys? Have I built a relationship strong? Am I out here doing right when I'm really wrong? Yeah, sometimes my perception is off, but I don't ever want to come off as real soft. And if you are, but that's on you. We still gotta do what we came to do. Are we in this thing? Are we acting like we really are the queens and kings?
By yourself.
All right.
Plus one.
We good. We good.
Have a good night. Good day. Have a good whatever. And say yeah.
All right. So, Daily Go Get a Mism Show Thursday. Throwback Thursday. Let's get real about relationships Thursday. KB, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. He says, the title has me cracking up, not faking it in bed. I understand. But we need to have this conversation. We was talking about this the other night. We didn't really go into it. We touched on it. And somebody said, you know what? You should do a song. You should do a show about faking orgasms. And I said, well, you don't say. Now, I'm sure that we've done a show similar to faking orgasms or whatever. But, with YouTube, you got to watch the way you word things. Now, that's what I know. You gotta watch the way you word things with YouTube, because you know they've been getting a little funny, a little funky. Now, one of the things I think that we need to get straight tonight, one of the big misconceptions about faking orgasms is that most people think that only women fake orgasms. Most people think that it's only women who fake orgasms, and it's not true. There may be men in here tonight that have had the fake one or fake two. One thing that a man learns about a woman, if he's dealt with, multiple women in his younger years, if he's smart, if he uses half a brain that he has, he will find out that you learn a lot from any and each woman that you deal with, because they're not all the same. So when people try to categorize all people into one thing, it's just like saying all black people love fried chicken. I've known black people who didn't like chicken at all. It's kind of weird. But yeah, I've known at least one person that does not like chicken and does not eat it. Not for any type of religious reasons or even health reasons. He said, she don't like the taste of chicken. So you learn that you can't put everybody into the same space, into the same category, or lump them all up into whatever you think that stereotype will be. So if a man has dealt with multiple girlfriends and maybe been in and out of serious relationships, maybe even been married at one time, one thing he will learn and should learn is that women have a very big sexual ego. Women have as big of a sexual ego as men do. Every woman wants to think that her pussy is on some golden shit. Like it's the snapper. It's the thing that pays the bills. It's the thing that makes you come around. It's the thing that phone calls and text messages are made of. The stalker in the bushes, the dude who does the drive-by, coming by your job unannounced. Like, hey, I thought you might like some lunch. Who's that guy you're coming out of the job with? That's just my coworker. Wait, that kind of stuff. But women have as big of a sexual ego as men do. They don't get the credit for it as much as men do, because it seems like all men want to, think that they dick is the all powerful thing, and that's the thing that keep the chicks all on the hip. Got her right here like a beeper, baby. I got her on my hip like a beeper. Well, to each his own. Maybe some things work for some people and some things don't work for other people. But because women have a big ego, some women don't want to ever leave their man feeling unsatisfied, and not necessarily for his pleasure or his edification, but she don't want to ever feel like her shit ain't popping like that. She don't ever want to feel like, like she left him high and dry. You know what I mean? She want to splash him, leave him drown. You know what I mean? Empty his bucket out. She want to splash him so bad that he gotta bail himself out, metaphorically, literally, figuratively. So there might be times when a man has to fake it also. But we can get into all. We can get into all that. We can get into all of that. Please hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, this is the Daily Go Getimism Show. I'm your host, Sun752, aka Omar with the. And if you can't say Omar with the, well, then you just say Omar with the R. So, yeah, faking orgasms. Now, off the top of your head, what are the first things that come to your mind when you think about somebody faking an orgasm? Let's start off with women, because y'all way more popular and much more well known for faking orgasms than men. What are the reasons that you have heard or that you know from experience that a woman would fake an orgasm? Well, I've heard that You know, when the sex is terrible, like she might have ran into some trash dick or something like that, and you know, just to get him up off of her, she faked the orgasm, so he felt like, okay, now I can go ahead and bust or you know, finish off or whatever and get on up out of there. I think that's an interesting reason to fake an orgasm, because in a situation where sex is bad, whether it's once, like, well, you know, let me ask y'all this: would a woman fake an orgasm on the first time, you know, the first time she has sex with a man? You know, because it sounds to me like if you will fake an orgasm with a man, it'll probably be to protect his ego. Like he needs to feel like he pleased you the way that you're probably pleasing him. So you know, yell at me and get on up out of there. Get on up out of there. L.A. Iverson, what's good? How you feeling, my dude? Good to see you. Good to see you, without a doubt. It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. But yeah, T. Carey Wright, morning, noon, and night. It's always great to have my people going directly into your site. What's good? What's good? T. Carey Wright says some women. Okay, wait. Let me go up here. Let me go up here. Make sure I ain't missing nothing. Make sure I ain't missing nothing. You been busy, KB? Yo, did you ever make it over there? You know, did you make it to Africa yet? You back? You know what I mean? Like, what we doing? You all right? You know what I'm saying? You know, you getting ready to have dual citizenship? What's happening? And she says, I would imagine it's harder for a man to fake physically. I'm thinking it would be obvious. No. Actually, it's well, you know what? Yeah. You could say that it would be obvious because in order for him to bust, you would feel it. But that's only if y'all having raw sex. Now, if y'all having sex with a condom on, he can fake it all day. He can fake it all day. But even if he doesn't have a condom on, there are ways that you can simulate. You can simulate. You know, yeah. Like but you have to have dick control. That's the only thing. If you the type of dude that's, you know, stick your dick in and come all the time, you probably don't have time to fake it. You only got 30 seconds to fake it. You better cut it to 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Hold on, we got a caller. We got a caller on the line. Hold on. Put the caller on hold. Put the caller on hold, and we gonna get right into this. I want to take a caller before we even get dressed. So hold on, caller with the last number is 9843. I'll be right with you. We're gonna get right into it. And TK Wright says, sorry, but I'm not built to fake it. I understand. He says some women fake it just to get it over with because it's taking him too long to get off. Okay. But I'm thinking that if it's taking him too long to get off, he must not be pleasing her in the interim. Like, not only is he taking too long, but he's also not, you know what I mean? Like, this thing ain't moving. This party is not jumping. You ever been to a party that wasn't jumping? We've all been to a party where you was like, this thing dead as hell. Like, this nice decorations. The DJ is ass. I don't know what he playing, but I ain't dancing to that. See if they got any food in here. Because everybody playing the wall. You know, this thing was more like a gathering. This ain't no party. I'm ready. Nah. My man, my brother Keith Tyler. What's going on, my dude? What's going on? How you feeling? How you feeling? And Shirley Cheryl, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. Shirley Cheryl, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. What's good? L.A. Iverson says, whack coochie make a man release faster. And I don't know about that. Coochie is whack. You should be able to last for days. Man, listen. And you know what? When you're a young boy, you don't even know what whack coochie is. You don't know. I know I didn't know. Who would have thought that coochie could be not good? Like, it was so new. You know what I mean? You enter it into a woman's body. It's so warm and wet. It's like, But I never forget when I was 18 and, you know, I was dealing with this little short. She was she was fine as hell. Fine as hell. And she was hot. She was a hottie. And the first time we did it, I was like, you know, like when you're a young boy, you be worried, like, yo, I want to make sure that, you know, she get her shit off first. So I don't want to mess around and bust fast. I'm in this shit. I'm like, I'm feeling like in the first couple of minutes, I'm feeling like I could do this all day. Meanwhile, she, I'm like, what are you about? This shit it wasn't that, I couldn't even believe it wasn't good. Cause she was too fucking pretty. You know, when you're a young boy, you think the pretty girls got the good, you think they got the superstar coochie. I mean, it makes sense. They already turned you on just from their look. So you figure it don't always match. It don't always match. I was so in love with her ass, I didn't even care. I was like, well, any premature ejaculation problems that I even thought I would have had, all this, we can do this all day. That all day. It's because this shit was whack. You know, but hey, you know. So, but everybody is different. Maybe for some men, maybe whack coochie will make you get your shit off faster. But I don't, you know, as far as like pumping faster, forcing yourself. But that's not an orgasm. So when we talk about an orgasm, there's a difference between having an orgasm and busting a nut. And a lot of women don't understand that. But they should, because they know the difference between when they have an orgasm and when they just get really, really wet on their way to having an orgasm. But I guess they figure that since men still release, whether they bust a nut or whether they orgasm, let me just put it simply. When you have an orgasm, you actually love that shit. It's like a full body experience. It's like, yo, this is so great. When you bust a nut, it's like, yeah, you literally was getting it over with. Like, all right, well, you know what? I gotta get up early tomorrow. I gotta take my dog to the vet. Like, what time you taking the dog to the vet? Well, I gotta get up early, take the dog to the vet. I got an appointment for like 3 a.m. You know, you gotta find a way to justify. Here it is, 10 o'clock at night. You just pulled it. But anyway, but you know, but whack coochie on a pretty girl will change a man's life. Because he's gonna still keep hitting because he's in disbelief. Like, this can't be true. Like, something else is wrong. They unplugged something. A nigga would get to blaming himself. Like, you know what? I must have been too rough with her every single time. Like, this is the 25th time y'all had sex. When that shit ain't get open. she too damn pretty, or the body is too banging for her. I'm like, no, I don't. That ass too fat. No. No. Refuse to believe that shit. L.A. Iverson says, yeah, you spelled Gary O wrong. You said rest in peace, Grayo. Gary O is a well-known DJ in Philly. Rest in peace, definitely Gary O. And TK Wright says, nope, she might have climaxed first and he was still pounding 20 minutes after. Okay, was she still enjoying herself or not? I'm just saying. You know, like, if she already climaxed, she didn't fake no orgasm. She had a real you understand what I'm saying? Like, you didn't fake it. So you had a real one and a fake one? Like, listen, man, after you make your woman actually come, she can't fake it with you no more. Unless you get high, drunk, or you're not paying attention, when she come for real, ain't no more. She can't fake it again. Like, you know the deal. Like, what you think you doing? Like I seen you. It's like once you see a KKK member without the hood and the mask on, it's like, hey, whoa. You, sir. All right. Naturalista Rap was good. Was good. How you feeling? Naturalista Rap says, is it warm and wet though? Question of the day. You know, it can be warm and wet and still whack. Sounds crazy, right? Yeah. Because it can be short. You know. It can be short. Erickson says some females don't be tight, ran through before 21. Personally, I don't care. I don't care who come before me. I don't give a fuck that shit. I'm gonna install a new door on them hinges, and we gonna see if it can fit that grand piano through that motherfucker. Like, come on. All right. Cheryl Halsey was good. Hold on a second. Hold on. Ellie Iverson says intimacy is more important is as important as sex. That's true. Cheryl Hudson says, look, I ain't got time to worry about what you not getting if we, you know, I'm busy giving mine so I can get mine. If you got time to fake it, as long as I'm getting it real. Fake going. Shit. All right. KB says I fly out to Africa in February. Wedding is in March. Okay. All right. Good luck. Good luck. That's what's up. Show Hudson says sometimes round 2 don't need a break. Okay. But a round 2 or 3 might be where a man fakes it. Because, you know, the first one, that's that. The second one is like, that third one is like, you know, you might clutch a little bit, let the referee break y'all a little bit. Plus, you gotta understand, a dick is a muscle. After the second, that shit, it hurts. Simply put, it hurts. The harder your dick get on the third night, like that shit hurts. Real shit. The shit hurts. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm like, these Viagra using cats, I'm like, they gotta be in pain. You know what I mean? You know, you got a muscle going inside of another muscle, trying to break down the tightness of that muscle. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. But every man is different. I get that too. Natural Lisa Rap says, hey, boyfriend, I'm at work. How can it still be whack if it's warm and wet? I thought men like warm and wet. They do. And you also hear men talk about tightness too. And you hear women talk about tightness. Like that's their whole claim to fame. Like this is tight. A lot of men ain't been up in here. And matter of fact, ain't no babies even passed through here. I had C-sections. I'm like, I don't know about every other man, but I don't grade on a curve. So everything ain't for everybody. So it can be wet and still like. Let me see if I can. Certain things have to fit right, and there's chemistry involved. Like if it's warm and wet, that's definitely a good starter kit. But every woman ain't the same, just like every man ain't the same. Like y'all know that, like just because a man might have a big dick, it doesn't mean that he knows how to work it. You know, he might be a greenhorn. He might be a novice. Like he ain't get his stroke game right. He ain't patient yet. You know what I mean? He might just be knocking it. Or he might not be. He might be scared to attack. You know what I'm saying? Yo. It's Throwback Thursday. That's why I take it back to being a young boy all the time. You know, listen, when a young man dick first start growing and he knows that he's comparably bigger than other men, you might not always be wanting to be aggressive with it. Like, you know, you might be trying to be like, you know, I ain't trying to kill her. You know, she a little thing. You know, you 16, 17, 18 years old. Your chick you messing with might only be like 5 foot tall, 5'2", petite. You know, we talking about back in the 80s. You know, they wasn't big and thick like they are now. These chicks wasn't looking grown. They was looking like they was too young to be having sex. And they probably was 15, 16, 17 years old. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't want to kill her. So he might be holding back. Meanwhile, she ready for you to, you know what I'm saying? She's like, well, if I gotta die, I want you to kill me. Anyway, so, you know, there's a lot to this. Okay. So, Sure Halsey says, never had to fake it. That's what's up. TK Wright says, then don't do the third. Laugh my ass. True. KV says, wait, okay, so why do most men fake it? No. Oh, okay. Well, let me finish reading. I'm hoping I won't have that problem in my relationship because we won't know until the wedding day how it is. Well, like I was saying earlier, men know that women have sexual ego. Like, you know, they really, you know, they have big ego. So you might not want your girl to feel like her shit ain't really right. So, you know, it might. Now, if you might be having a bad night. Like, you don't have to fake it all the time, but you might be having a bad night. So, you know, you had to simulate some things. You gotta. I don't know how another man controls the same motion that you use to stop. Okay. If a man doesn't know how to, if a man can pee and stop his pee in the middle of his pee, then he can control his dick. Not every man can do that. If you have a bad prostate, or you have prostate issues, and you don't have to be an older man in order to have prostate issues. So if you have prostate issues, you can't stop yourself from peeing. And you also can't stop yourself from coming. But anyway, the same muscle that you use to keep from peeing is the same muscle that you use to keep from coming, and it's also the same muscle that you would use to simulate coming. So what you could do is simulate stopping coming, or the same muscle that you use to hold back from coming is the same way that you could use to fake it. And it works a lot better if you have a condom on, because if you can't, if you ain't, push it out, she gonna know, like, what you doing? And it might be that time when you have to act like your stomach hurt or something like that. All right, anyway, because you can honestly, actually, when a man stops a nut, it actually can, cause you to have some stomach issues. It can be dangerous. TK Right says, I would have tested it out during my first visit. I'm not marrying someone who hasn't given me the business. Me either. No way. And she says, true, but as someone who is already a single mom, I didn't want to get pregnant again before marriage, so I told him to wait. TK Right says, KP, I'd take a baby before I would bad sex. Oh man. I'm sorry. All right. Cheryl, call back and I'm sorry I took so long. You know what? Let's go ahead and get dressed. So the next time the calls come through, we good. We good. All right. All right. It's time for us to put on the cowbone. Time for us to put on the cowbone. Okay. We good. All right, where we at? Where we going? Where we going? Which one y'all want to wear? The one on the left? The one in the middle? Or the one on the right? What's it gonna be? I said, what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? The one on the right? The one in the middle? Or the one on the left? The one on the left. Which one? All right. TK Right says, no, Cheryl says middle. TK Right says middle. KB says right. We get one more middle, and middle is going to make it. If y'all take too long, middle is going to make it. What's it going to be? The one on the left, or the one in the middle, or the one on the right? Which one? Which one? Which one? Which one? All right. So we're going to count to 10. A 1. That's left, middle. Middle wins. Cheryl Halsey. Cheryl Halsey broke the tie, or should I say, confirmed the victory. So it is the middle. The middle is a winner. The middle is a winner. All right. Looking good, middle. Look at the middle right there. Looking good. Real good. You know what I'm saying? Ladies, you're looking pretty. You're looking beautiful. You're looking sweet. You're looking sexy. You're looking elegant. You're looking like, oh yeah, somebody trying to get with you tonight. Yo, can I get your number? And brothers, you're looking fly. You're looking handsome. You're looking suave. You're looking debonair. You're You're looking smooth. You got your soft stuff on. Everybody looking good. Everybody looking good right now. Right now, everybody looking good, and you know how. Everybody looking good. Everybody, everything is going to be all right. A hot toddy. Thursday night, baby. Thursday night. That's at least a right. We talking about right? Are you far back on the show? Listen, man, y'all got to make sure that y'all are up, current. Make sure y'all take y'all cursor and drag it all the way to the right, because sometimes y'all be behind. You know what I mean? And you can tell because like all kinds of comments be coming through on a later joint. You know what I'm saying? King Kong ain't got shit on me. What's going on, my brother? He says, "Oh yeah, that's what's up." KB says, "Wait, did you get more necklaces? You always had 3?" Yeah. 2 on the neck, 3 on reserve. Always. We actually have 4. We actually have 4. Okay. Cheryl says, "We look scrumptious." You do. Oh, naturally, the rat said, "Thought I sent it. Sorry." Said, "I ain't behind. I'm just, I had a little delay. You know what I mean? I had a little delay. My finger was getting lazy." All right, so yeah. So we talking about faking orgasms. Faking orgasms, more gasms, fall on the floor gasms. I'm gonna take you on tour gasms, some sore gasms. Go to the store gasms and make you raw gasms. What's going on? You ain't loose and not a orgasm. Faking orgasms. What makes you do it? Ladies, y'all know some of y'all be faking orgasms. What makes you fake an orgasm? Well, I know that a lot of women fake orgasms because, either they want to get something over with, or they don't want to make their man feel bad. They don't want to make him feel bad. Like, listen, man, he a good dude. He be providing. He takes care of the kids. He go to work every day. He might be a little challenged in the sex department, but he has everything else going on. So I'm not going to indict him for the sex. Now, a lot of people would say, well, wouldn't the best thing be to go ahead and coach him? Well, some people get a little sensitive about their sex game. You can't tell them nothing. I'm like, well, can you at least tell them what you like? That's what I'm thinking. You should at least be able to tell somebody what you like. You don't have to be like, because that some people leave it up to other people to figure out what they like. I'm like, it's Christmas time, right? So a lot of people are going to buy presents for people, and a lot of people are going to try to surprise people with presents. So they're going to buy things for people that they think that they'll like, based on their personality, based on the things that they have seen them with, based on what they think that they will like, right? Some people are going to get it totally wrong. They're going to get it totally wrong. Just like, okay, they're going to get it totally wrong, but they thought that they were going to get it right and exact. So they thought that they wanted one thing when they really wanted another thing. And all of that could have been remedied if they would have just asked, well, what do you want? Christmas time is coming up. Your birthday is coming up. Valentine's Day coming up. This, that, and the third is coming up. Our anniversary is coming up. What would you like? Is there something you've been having your eye on? I don't know. I'm a simple man in that department. First of all, I don't like surprises. I don't like surprises. You know what I mean? Some people are really good at buying presents for people. Some people just have the knack. And some people buy you what they like. They buy you what they want. Just like with sex, they think that you should just figure out what they like, what they enjoy, and how they want to feel. When they could be like, listen, baby, I really be liking what you do, but you know what I really would like? Every now and then, could you do this? or like when you hear me making this noise, when you hitting it from the side, keep hitting it from the side. Cause that shit you be hitting it from the side. I'll be feeling like a baseball and you about to hit a home run. A man ain't gonna get mad about that shit. That's a lot better than going ahead and be like, you ain't getting nothing out of it. He think he did something really great and fantastic. And the next time it's gonna be even worse because he's thinking that he's doing the right thing and you haven't told him. So why should he change when he thinks that he's doing the right thing time and time again? Meanwhile, behind his back, you talking all kinds of shit. Like he got a couple of dollars, he got a nice car, blah, blah, blah. He smell nice, he look nice and all of that, but he can't fuck worth shit. You know what I mean? It's not a good look. Marion Castillo Vidal says, I never fake. All my guys and women made me say. Oh, okay. You said all your guys and women make you satisfied. And you say, poor guy, you don't know shit about what you're talking about. Let me tell you a little something. I don't want to offend you and your community, but can't nobody who's bisexual tell me a motherfucking thing about nothing. No offense. No offense. But trust me, you, sir, or Matt, I don't even know what you are now. You can't tell me nothing about what I'm talking about because I don't open my mouth on this show unless I know what I'm talking about. Now, I may not know everything, but when I talk about what I talk about, I know what I'm talking about. If I don't know something, I'll humbly ask for clarification. But you barking up the wrong tree. With all due respect, you can't tell me shit. Not a motherfucking thing. So back to the show. Okay. TK Wright says, I have coached. Every lover isn't the same. So you may be able to gently show, or you have to be able to gently show someone what you like. I mean, that's simple. Natural Release the Rap says, Marion, you just got here. Stop trolling. Like, listen, I don't even know if he trolling. Somebody who I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying. I'm putting forth effort over here. Cheryl says, if you're not hitting it right, you're not going to hear me fake it. You're going to see me get up. Fair enough. I mean, I don't think that you should fake it, but I'm not going to come at the neck of people who fake it because you may not be faking it. You may be faking it in good faith. If you can understand what I mean by that. You may be literally faking it in good faith. Like you ain't trying to hurt nobody's feelings. You may be trying to do the exact opposite. You may be trying to really you might just be trying to get through the night. You can't get to know better days unless you make it through the night, baby. I'm just saying. KB says main ingredient in your shake. Well, the reason that it's like, I don't even know what I guess you could say an olive color now is because I've been using this new turmeric. I'm gonna show y'all because the old turmeric would just turn everything like yellowish, but this turmeric This turmeric is mad orange. So I never seen turmeric this orange before. Y'all see that shit? That shit is bright orange. It's like the surface of Mars. Right? You know what I mean? Like, and so normally is my drink is red because of the beets that are in it. This thing is overpowering the beets. Like, nah, you ain't turning nothing red. So with the greens in it, yeah, that's oh, and I also have chlorella in there. I got chlorella in there, and that's like a dark green. So this ain't regular turmeric. This is turmeric root extract. You see that? Turmeric root extract. So this is more powerful, way more potent than regular turmeric. So you only have to use a little bit of this, where with regular turmeric, you would have to use a lot. Like this is like almost 10 times the strength of regular turmeric. So yeah, this should be having everything turning orange. So with the chlorella, I'm gonna show y'all that too. With the chlorella and all the other stuff, see, the chlorella is like mad green. So you put the orange with the green, and then the beets, and then the collard greens, trying to, you know, they all battling with each other. So I guess the chlorella is binding with the collard greens and whatever green I have in there, because I got green pepper in there. I got celery in there. I got cucumber in there. So there isn't. It's sort of like a balance between all of the It's a balance of all of the vegetables that I have in there. I try to balance it the most, but that's the reason why it's this crazy color. It's probably the orange and the green trying to take over everything. They trying to bully each other, but this is actually really good. And yeah, like I said, that turmeric is turmericing. Now, before I had the regular turmeric, you know, the kind that you cook with, and this ain't that. This ain't the. You see, like touching this shit. You see how, you know, this shit gets. Yeah, this thing is the real orange. This shit, they should call this shit the Donald Trump. That's how orange it is. You got that Donald Trump in that shit. Like, oh, you got the Trump in there? Yeah, like it's going to deport all of the toxins out your body. With ice. With ice. Turmeric. TK Wright says, I've seen turmeric like that before. Yeah. See, here goes Cheryl talking about some strawberries. No. No. TK Wright says, sometimes you don't mind, but every once in a while you don't want to have to teach. Shit, you got to teach until they get it right. That shit is like training a dog. You don't want to keep putting down paper. You don't want to have your floor pissed on. You got to teach them to go the fuck outside, which means you got to go outside too. So now, if he acting slow or stubborn, oh, after a while, you ain't gonna be faking it no more. You gonna stop. You gonna find ways not to give him none. TK Wright says chlorella is seaweed too. It's amazing. I corrected the spelling in case you wanted to look it up. Yeah, chlorella is good shit. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's expensive though. It's expensive. It's expensive. You know, you get certain shit by the ounce. How much is in here? This is an 8-ounce joint. So when I get that at the herb store, that should be running. So yeah, but the whole faking orgasm thing, something I've heard certain women, and this is wild to me. I've heard certain women brag about what an Oscar-worthy performance they put on with faking an orgasm, and they never had a real orgasm. And I was like, no disrespect, ma, but I'm thinking that in order for you to fake an orgasm, you have to have you have to have had a real orgasm. Other than that, you're not faking an orgasm. You're simulating an orgasm to fake. Now, y'all can let me know if I'm off base with that. But she said that she's never had a real orgasm. As a matter of fact, she used to talk bad about sex so much because she said that sex was overrated and everybody just be acting like it's all of that. But she also admitted that no man had ever really taken his time with her. So she had never got a chance to enjoy sex. And she stopped having sex at a young age. She stopped having sex at a young age and couldn't see any reason not to. Like, this shit is overrated anyway. And she used to tell everybody, every chance she got, she took that chance to tell everybody, like online, that they was lying. And, they was capping about how good sex is and all of that. And that shit ain't addictive and all of that. Y'all just be saying that shit. Well, you can't account for somebody else's experiences. But, it's just like when somebody tries to tell you, all right, I might like alcohol, you might like alcohol, but you might only like wine. I might like beer. So I might like beer to the point where all I drink is beer. I don't want no shots. I don't want no liquor. I don't want no scotch. I don't want no yak. I don't want no rum. I don't want no vodka. I don't want none of that. All I like is beer. I like beer. Give me a cold one. And you might not like beer. So as I'm talking about how each beer tastes different than the other ones, I might be like a beer enthusiast. So I'm testing different German beers, but what's that other place that makes Roche? Fuck. It's near France and all of that. They are in Belgium. Belgian beers, Dutch beers like Heineken or whatever. And I'll be like, yo, and I'm trying to tell you how different beers, I'm running around telling people how different beers, do this and that and how they taste different. And you might say, all that shit tastes the same. So, and none of it tastes good because it don't taste good to you. And nobody can tell you that it tastes good because you tasted it before. So you figure that when people try to tell you opposite of what you know for sure, because you've experienced it, you figure that they capping. But you haven't experienced what they've experienced. Like these different beers that he may have drank, you haven't drank them. That's not your thing. It's not your thing. So while they're running around enjoying what they do because that's their thing, you're telling people that, yeah, that's their thing, but it's not as hot as people say. So, you calling people liars. And that's sort of like what sex was to her. She's had sex plenty of times. She ain't had no kids and nothing like that. But she had sex plenty of times going all the way back to when she was a teenager. And because she never had a good sexual experience, never. But she said that, to get it over with. Oh, this is the funny part. She said that she's never really enjoyed sex. And she also said that she had good pussy. That's what she said. She said that she had good pussy, but she keeping it to herself because sex is overrated and dude, she ain't trying to deal with this, that, and the third and all of that. And I'm thinking like, so you say sex is overrated, but you've never had a pop. I don't think any man has ever taken a chance. I mean, taking his time with you. So it's hard for me to lend credibility to what you're saying. And what up, my man? Info Spot 411. What's going on, my dude? It's hard for me to lend credibility to your account of what sex is like because I've had sex plenty of times and I've found pleasure in it plenty of times. And just because you haven't, you're not going to change the minds of people who are out here enjoying what they are enjoying because they've evidently experienced something in a way that you haven't. And she didn't believe that. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to be the one. You know, what one time, because, you know, this chick had a little crush on me. And you know how people will try to set you up with somebody, even if you're not really feeling them. Well, we went to a little function, a little gathering. We didn't go together. I showed up there and she needed a ride home. She didn't drive. So I drove her home. And that whole ride home, I fully understood why she never had a positive sexual experience. One ride home let me know. I knew from that ride home why she never had a positive sexual experience. Just from her conversation, I knew why she never had a positive. She wasn't ugly, wasn't stupid. She didn't have what I would call a bad personality, but she was so insecure that I could see a dude just being like, listen, man, I'm gonna just get this nut and get the fuck on up out of here. She talks stupid shit and she acting like, what the fuck is wrong with her? Sometimes when people are insecure, when they really don't believe in themselves, they will actually talk you out of liking them because they don't like themselves and they already know that they're going to turn you off. So they actually try to turn you off more. And sometimes it be working. But at the same time, then they'll blame you for not taking your time with them, for not giving them a fair shot. That one ride home, because we lived close to each other. I lived in North Philly. She lived in North Philly too. So we only lived maybe 5-10 minutes away from each other. I dropped her ass off. I was ready to screech my tires. I was a gentleman. And I waited till she got in the house, closed the door. I swear I was ready to be like, I was like, if you know what it's like for somebody to be, do you know what it's like for somebody to violate you without cussing you out, without she violated me. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, are you drunk? Or, you know what I mean? I couldn't figure it out. But I honestly never really wanted to be in her presence again. I was like, this is bigger than not knowing how to treat a man. This was not knowing how to be a woman. Some people are loners because they like to be alone, and some people are loners because they don't have a choice. She was the latter. So, but she running around here talking about she faked orgasms. You know, she faked orgasms all the time. She could have got an Oscar for it. I'm like, you ain't fake no orgasms. You never had one. You gotta know one. You gotta have one to fake one. You doing movie fake orgasms. I guess that's faking it, but you faking it for him and you're faking it for yourself. Shit was crazy. Okay, wait. The real question, okay, TK right says the real question is, has the woman had a vaginal orgasm is way different than a clitoral or clitoral orgasm. Just saying. One has you checking phones, the other slashing trees or bringing food, slashing tires or bringing food to his job. She never had, I can guarantee you she didn't have nothing. She didn't even believe in oral sex. She wasn't putting her mouth on no dick and wasn't letting no man go down on her. I was like, well, everybody doesn't need that, but I don't know which way you're gonna find, which yellow brick road you're gonna use to see the wizard. I don't know which yellow brick road you're gonna use. But like I said, just with that ride home, I literally wanted to take my hands off the steering wheel and be like this. Like maybe I could steer with my knees. Oh shit. Fuck. Yo, shut the fuck up. Shit. You know how you can understand how come some women don't have a man, but you might not understand why they don't have a boyfriend. I understood why she couldn't get a boyfriend. Like this joint, yo, this is the craziest shit I ever heard. It was, yo, my license was fucked up at the time, and I had my mom's car. I was ready to floor that shit. She had a super sport Monte Carlo at the time. You know that shit. I was like, this, fuck it. Let's get. Like, you got to go. I was damn near ready to be like, get the fuck out the car. You home, right? Fuck out of here. She was wild, son. Oh man, InfoSpot says you won't get this good information watching CNN or Fox. I know, right? Spartacus, my dude, what's going on? And single blackjack dealer, what's good? Says you need a tenderoni to match your energy. Oh yeah? The truth about a Roni, she's the sweetest little girl. Well, it wasn't that chick in that car that night. I was like, who told me to take her home? I said, who told me to take her home? It was a bad experience. Nobody else had. I never had met a girl that made me that mad. In just a few minutes, we was on the E-way, the expressway. I couldn't see a way for us to be friends, let alone be getting it in. I just wanted that ride to end, so I let the tire spin at a rate of 100. She wasn't even scared, and I wasn't really caring how long it took. My was kind of shook because I ain't had no license at the time. I was doing crimes in a car. If the cops stopped me, I would explain to him, I got to get this bitch home, son. You got to do what you got to do. Because, in Philly, all they can do is give you a ticket, but I wasn't trying to go out like that and kick it. Maybe they impound my mom's car, and it wasn't in the position to really go far. Man, I said, man. Shit was crazy. Real crazy, you know what I'm saying? All right, Smarticus says it's much easier to bake bread if you warm the oven up first. That's true. Matter of fact, the oven got to be hot. You can't sunburn your way to no bread. TK Wright says, man, not everyone into receiving oral, but also that's not something that you disclose during the first ride home with your crush. You know how like you go on a date with somebody, or you know somebody is digging you, or you found out that they was digging you later, but for whatever reason you ain't jumped their bones, and later on you be thinking like, yo man, I woulda, shoulda, coulda. I never second guessed nothing that night. You know what I mean? Because I had a feeling if I would have like, took her to the crib, she'd have been with it. I wasn't with it. I was like, this is bad money. You know how they say all money ain't good money. This is bad money. This is bad money. Like this joint off the chain. This is the kind of shit that have you not trusting the internet. That was right around the time, because this was around 2013. And I was thinking to myself, like, see, this is it. This is it. This is it. This is that internet shit. This is what people be complaining about. Forget about being kidnapped, abducted, and chopped up. This is worse. See, if they stay alive, they can still, disturb you, irk you, and irritate you another day. InfoSpot says there are people in life you meet that you can't stand listening to. I don't think y'all really understand. I'm a patient man. This shit was different. Your coworkers dying laughing. Listen, man. Listen. I wish I could paint a picture. Running around here talking about something. She faking orgasm. She never had a real orgasm. You bitch, you never. Ain't no man gonna put up with this shit. You know what you might catch a cat coming home from jail. That's what you need. You need a pen pal. She fuck around and piss off a pen pal. Like, yo, take off the VI list. Like, take off the VI list, man. And I want you to take off my call list too. Don't let her call no more. I don't want no mail. I don't want her coming up here. And I don't want no nah, I ain't going home to that shit. Yo. But you had it set up so you could go home. Like when you got released, you could go to a house, for house arrest or whatever. Nah, fuck that, man. I go to the halfway house. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just ride my sentence out. Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead. I'm gonna just go ahead and max out. I don't like messing around with the state anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and max out. We have a caller on the line. Caller on the line. Let's see. With the last number is 0297.
You have a call from.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's drown that part out. Boom. We ready. Welcome to the Daily Go Getimism Show. Thank you for holding. What's on your mind tonight? What's good?
Hey, this is Ed from Detroit.
What up, Ed from Detroit?
InfoSpot 411 YouTube channel in the chat. You made me remember a really good story, and then I was going to comment first on the insecure woman, but it goes from men. But anyway, I didn't know at the time. It was in my early 30s, but this lady I dated for almost a year. But I found out later it was insecurity, but she was constantly like checking her hair, always the makeup mirror. Oh, okay, that's just a woman thing. And it was always her hair and makeup and other shit, she would put on. It just like an obsession almost. But then when I spoke to somebody about a year and a half later, had a degree in social work, and that's what they explained to me. Said, well, that's a big sign of insecurity. I mean, there's normal things where women want to look nice, when they go out and about and whatnot. But it was like, oh, okay, and I found that out. But yeah, I mean, that's just another thing I picked up on, with the insecurity issue, as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then the story made me remember, and this ties into a Lions game, but I went out with a buddy of mine, and it was some club, but anyway, it was like close to 2 a.m. and then like the bars and clubs, they got to close here in Michigan at 2 a.m. I was up near Flint, Michigan, and man, there was 3 ladies and one of them was just smoking hot, but he was invited to go back to their place, and then from my understanding, they were just having like a party, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm tired, it's Sunday tomorrow, because it was Saturday going into Sunday. I wanted to, I was off like every other weekend, and so I wanted to see this damn Lions game, and come to find out, it was like, oh man, you missed that. So what happened? He goes, there was 2 of us and the 3 ladies, and then they had another lady friend that came over. He said, man, we had a big orgy going on, man. And I was like, oh my Lord, I missed it. And and they got it going on, and I'm like, damn, I'm just thinking, they're probably just gonna be, playing some music and shooting the shit and talking, and I'm like, oh my Lord, and I forget the lady's name now, but I'm going back to like this was on 2004. And I'm like, was she there? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I missed it, man. It's just, it's one of those things,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, missing that orgy.
I missed it, man, for a fucking Lions game. Can you believe that? And I wanted this lady so bad.
In 2004, you definitely should have went to the orgy.
I didn't know. I'm thinking, dumb me. I'm half tired. It's almost 2, and I'm thinking, okay, they'll probably just have some music. They're gonna bullshit and talk. There's different. There'll be some guys and girls there, and this and that. Find out it was just 2 of them, and then end up being 4 girls, and this one lady I wanted so bad was smoking hot. He's like, oh, they were there, man. He goes, they lined up. We went at it. I'm like, oh man, I missed out. And then that was the year, I think they had that we had that Jeff Garcia doing those shuttle passes and shit.
Yeah, Jeff Garcia.
I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
Well, part of it was I'd only be able to see the Lions every week. I was working these Sundays where I'd miss the Lions game, so I'm really geeked up looking, but still, oh man, I kicked myself in the ass. But I guess that's how life goes sometimes, What's the old saying? If you didn't have bad luck, you wouldn't have good luck.
Right. But you know what? You make an interesting point, and you made me think about something that I never really thought of before. Since we're talking about faking orgasms in a group sex situation, or like with swingers and all of that, I wonder if they ever feel the need to fake an orgasm. Like what would be the point? You know what I'm saying? Like, or are you even looking for the maximum way to have to give or receive pleasure? Because I'm thinking like it's probably a lot more psychological going on than maybe even the physical. Like some people are turned on by watching other people have sex or having other people watch them, so they might be able to to orgasm based on that even more than the actual sex act itself.
I think it's more psychological. There's some physical, but let me use this as some examples. But anyway, I'll get to that 1 second. But with the story, what I was told was there was 2 ladies in one room and 2 ladies in the other. And he goes, I went in one room for a little while, I had fun. He goes, and I went in the other room. He says, oh man, Ed, you should have been there. My buddy Montez was telling me, I'm like, oh my Lord. My example of psychological versus physical. Here's the psychological. let's say you take a lady, let's say sister's about like, let's say a 7.5 to an 8, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But depending what she has on can catch your eye, or how she acts or stuff she might say to you and really get you going. And it's the same thing for a woman with a man, you know. Might see the man in, you know, let's say a Nautica sweater and some slacks, but if he's in a really sharp suit, he's got some snakeskin shoes on,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not overly done, but really looking sharp,
Yeah.
then she's going to be more into him. He's still the same guy. So sometimes the clothing has it, as well as how somebody talks and certain things they might do would turn someone on. I think that's where the psychological, you know, comes into play. But then, you know, the actual act itself, some of the physical stuff, and be like, well, this woman did this woman did that. Or for the women, like, man, this guy went for a long, long time, and he might not have the longest, you know what, but he could really work it. So that's where I kind of see how the physical come into play there with the orgasm.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of different things turn people on that that don't have anything to do with actual physical sex, well, or intercourse, I should say. You know, but if it isn't sexual intercourse that's turning like if it's not sexual intercourse that's turning a woman on, then it seems to me that she would either have a easier time having an orgasm or a harder time, because if you're dealing with somebody that doesn't understand that physical sex might not be the thing that really gets you going. It might be the words that you say. It might be some kind of foreplay. It might be some kind of weird. It might be like passing notes in class or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Some old crazy stuff that might not have anything to do with actual sexual intercourse. And it might be hard for you to communicate that with somebody because you don't want them to think that you're weird or whatever. So you might be relegated to faking orgasms or whatever because, you know, your insecurity about expressing what you actually like to do or what you actually like to feel or experience is something that you feel you can't say. You can't express that to anybody. So you may have to act like you don't like everything or act like you like everything, because the real thing that you really crave, you don't think that somebody can give it to you, or you're afraid to ask. So you just out there in limbo, you know? So I don't know.
Makes sense.
I mean, you know, I think that it's whack to have to fake orgasms on a regular basis. But like I said, you know, women have done it for various reasons. Men have done it for various reasons. But to have to do it night in and night out, day in and day out, that just doesn't seem fair. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to work out something, even if you're dealing with somebody who is, let's say, they're sexually inhibited. You know, when somebody is sexually inhibited, that means they don't like to explore a lot of things. You know what I mean? They may only believe that sex is for procreation, or they may only, you know, have sex in the missionary position or something like that. Like they might not be willing to try a whole lot of other things because they think that God is going to punish them if they, I don't know, hit it from the back or, you know, have sex on a balcony or some shit like that. I don't know.
There's usually a motive with the faking.
Yeah.
Here's an example. Let's say take a woman. Obvious, a woman who's pay to play or does escorting. You know, she's going to want some repeat business or, you know, want a nice tip. Or let's talk like dating relationship. Might be like, okay, well, I would like this favor out of him. So I know one thing that'll really make him happy. So when I hit him up for asking him for something here on Tuesday or Wednesday, and it's, you know, a Sunday, Saturday, then I'm going to go a little overboard, fake it and make him happy. And so there are the motives that come into play as far as the faking.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that could be a simple motive right there. That's an easy one. You know, like when people when some men hear about a woman faking orgasms, some men get automatically offended because it kind of makes you go into your mental Rolodex of your sexual activities and make you wonder like if you've been quote unquote victim of faking an orgasm or whatever, and you may have, you may not have. I never even thought about this whole faking orgasm thing until when I was 18. My sister, my oldest sister, she saw, I had girlfriends and shit like that, and I had a particular girlfriend, and she sat me down one day, and I was freshly 18 too, I mean fresh, and she said you when you with your girls, you be making them come, and I said yeah, and she said how you know. Now, she caught me off guard because me and my sister had never had these conversations before. So I told her what I thought I knew. And she was like, nah, she faking it. And of course, me being, young and arrogant at the time and, full of ego, I was like, no, she's not faking it. And she was like, she said, trust me, Omar. When I was that age, I thought I was coming until I really came. And then she made me think about that. And I said, damn. Could she have been faking it? And who knows? Because the thing is, what my sister didn't take into consideration was that some women experience things before other women do. Like, whereas I've heard women talk about, masturbating and making themselves come when they were young teenagers. So they had already discovered that part of their sexuality at a young age, where you may talk to a 35-year-old woman or a 40-year-old woman that never really had an orgasm and didn't even know it. You understand what I'm saying? So I took what my sister was saying into consideration, but I had to also remember, like, and she used the whole thing about when her son's father, he was the first one to make her have an orgasm. She said that's why she couldn't leave him alone. And she said that's why it was so hard for her to leave him alone, because all the other dudes, even though she liked them, loved them or whatever sexually, they hadn't attached her because they hadn't rung the bell. He knew how to ring the bell. And I'm like, well, so you saying that you never enjoyed sex until your son's father? She said, no, I enjoyed it, but I didn't. Basically, he opened up the Pandora's box. Now she didn't even know what she was missing. You understand what I'm saying? So, So my thing is, just like the girl I was talking about before, saying that she had faked orgasms, I guess my sister was faking them before she had them too. But at least she was only about 20 or 20 years old. I mean, 20 or 21 years old before, before she found the girl jumping out of the cake. The other girl I was talking about was a whole 40. She was a whole 40. So shit is crazy.
One thing to look for too, I mean, is like here I'll use me as an example of one lady I was with. Is I look for stuff that usually out of the norm, something that they're gonna do. Like this one lady, when she'd really get into it and she was satisfied, she'd start like grabbing my back to the point like scratching it real hard. And it wasn't something she would do every time we had sex. But when she really, really get into it, there was something she grabbed my back, and it was like, almost like a cat. It scratch it, and I'm like, oh, okay, now she's, really get into it. But look for those little signs that something that doesn't happen every time. And you're like, oh, I mean, not that always means an orgasm, but it's usually, I guess, an indicator would be a better word,
What they do?
That's something that I've kind of picked up on. Knowledge comes sometimes as we age and we experience, and not that I know everything, but
at least you're paying attention. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're actually looking for that. A lot of men don't really give a fuck. They are actually into, their own pleasure or whatever. And there are women out there that are selfish as well. But yeah, a lot of times when a lot of women orgasm, they do need to grab on to something. They might squeeze the shit out of your arm, hug you real tight or whatever. But at the same time, they might be getting a lot quieter than they were before. Before they might have been making some noise, and the closer they get to it, they ain't trying to fuck that up. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
What can I liken it to? You ever play? Do you gamble?
Not often. I mean, you're talking cards or slots or like sports bet gambling?
Yeah, you ever play craps?
Gosh, it's been years. I played it a couple times years ago at like a New Year's Eve party, betting on the dice roll.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right. Have you ever pitched pennies or quarters or anything like that?
That I haven't. I bet card games, different card games, or going to parties, and then I've been at the casinos, playing blackjack, and then the slots, and then I've done the old school sports betting where you got to get, you pick the football games, and if you get 3 right, you beat the point spread, you win,
I got it. You like baseball, right?
Yeah, baseball. Football and bowling are my favorite, but yeah, I like baseball. I watch my Tigers.
Okay, so if you've ever witnessed witnessed a pitcher get close to a no-hitter game, like yes. if you watch a pitcher get close to a no-hitter, you notice how nobody's talking to the pitcher. Nobody wants to distract them. They want them to stay in his element. Mm-hmm. That's sort of like what I've noticed when a woman is about to orgasm. That's what she's pretty much doing. Like, she's trying to tell you to stay right on where you are without necessarily telling you to stay right where you are. You understand? You know what I mean? They don't want to do shit to fuck that up. Just like when a pitcher is pitching a no-hitter, you don't want to be like, yo, you having a good game. You're about to hit a no-hitter. I mean, do a no-hitter, right? Like, so everybody gets quiet and the pitcher becomes very isolated when he's about to score a no-hitter, pitch a no-hitter game. So that's sort of like that's sort of some of the clues. Plus, women actually ejaculate. Like, you should actually feel it. Like, it comes out. Yo, real shit. It comes out. It's coming out. On the internet, you hear people talk about who's going to sleep in the wet spot. And I'm like, listen, y'all need to thank God that you got a wet spot. There's a lot of people out here that ain't got no wet spot. Ain't no wet spot to have a discussion about. There's no debate about no wet spot because there ain't no wet spot. There's no wet. Everything is dry here. You know what I'm saying? It's like set up everything with a bunch of sponges. So
I got one more. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt. A funny story where you made me remind me of the story. A coworker told me this, talking about this. Anyway, this is he was staying on the east side of Detroit, and this was in the summertime. And he's in his family room and he's watching a movie, and it's about like I think he said 11 o'clock, close to midnight. He's getting ready to go to bed. And he had his door wall. I'm sorry, not drywall, door wall open. And he had a fan going. And all of a sudden, he hears this lady screaming, but not like a screaming for help, like she's having sex. And he says, he was telling me, well, this sounded like it was some couple going at it in my fucking backyard. He was like, holy shit. So he gets up, goes out his door wall, and the guy behind his house had his door all open, with the screen. And he got one of those big ass screen TVs with like I don't know, he said like one of these JBL type in-home stereo systems. And he's got the porno going, and he's got it cranked up like he's listening to some, rock and roll record. He's got the damn thing cranked up.
Yeah.
He goes, I couldn't believe this. He goes, I thought I'd seen some shit in my lifetime. He goes, this guy, he just sit here, like he's enjoying like an REO Speedwagon concert or some shit. He's got this porno going, and the in-home stereo is cranked up so fucking loud. And it's just like he could give a shit less what the neighbors think,
No, that is crazy.
Couple going, and I thought, I laughed, and I was like, holy shit, man, you got some crazy shit going on the east side there.
And you know what? Funny, speaking of pornos, now in pornos, a lot of I've seen pornos where you can see that they obviously are using a moan track or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, the lips are not moving with the moans. like this, and they have the power of editing, so it looking like these dudes are going like they going on and on and on. They might be looping the video where it's the same stroke 100 times or whatever, but hey, you don't know, you too busy doing what you doing. So, but yeah, faking orgasms is something that's very prevalent out here, and I've heard it weaponized against people before, and I'm thinking like, what's the point in doing that? Sex is supposed to be a pleasurable thing for people, so why would you use the fact that somebody didn't please you as a way to demean them instead of trying to step them up to where you need them to be so you can enjoy sex also, especially if it's somebody you're going to have sex with again. Now, if it's a one night stand, why would you fake an orgasm? I'm thinking like, if it's a one night stand, you might as well get everything out of it that you came for. That's what I'm thinking, because anything else is kind of ridiculous. But if it's somebody that you're going to be seeing on a regular basis or whatever, and you're just basically going to cut your sexual history off, cut your sexual pleasure off, because you figure you have to sacrifice one thing in order to have another thing. Like an example of that, would be like, if a woman was with a man who was providing for her and possibly her children. So maybe he was an older man or whatever the case may be. Maybe it was somebody that she wasn't so physically attracted to, but he had a financial upside or benefit to him, to whereas she could use him to pay her bills, have money, whatever. She basically is taking one for the team. But
there's usually something behind it.
Yeah. So she's taking one for the team, but it's really a team of one, because you can find another man. You can find a man that could please you sexually and still, give you a couple of dollars. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. And I have to say maybe you can or can't, because either you really believe in yourself or you don't. And some people pretend to believe in themselves when they really don't. And and that kind of thinking will catch up to you after a while, because somebody is going to make you prove that you are what you say you are after a while. So just like the girl I was talking about before, she's, you know, she claimed that she had good pussy and all that. And I'm thinking, like, how would you even know? You faking orgasms with these dudes, so they thinking that they're pleasing you. But you mean to tell me that you're sure that you're pleasing them? Like, I don't know. You know, like some things, I don't want to say it went over my head, but I'm like, this is not making a whole lot of sense to me.
Well, it goes back to when he was saying that people who talk a lot know nothing and have nothing. The people that know and have talk very little. So I'm always wary if some woman, let's say, the example says, "Oh, I give some of the best head, and I've been told by, several men that I've been with in the past, or I've been told that, I give the most incredible head, blah, blah," and you find out, what the hell, you're talking a load of shit, you find that out like, yeah, okay,
Yeah, they need to be stopped. It is an awful lot of that. Everybody think they superhead and all that. I'm like, come on, man. You know what?
Well,
that should be a man's opportunity to fake an orgasm. Like, like, oh, this is the greatest. But no, give me a fucking break. What were you about to say?
Oh yeah. That's what I was meant to say. I forgot. One thing this is just my own experience, and then some people in the chat can comment on it, and I'm curious your take on it. We're both Gen X. I'm 50. I think you're 50, around 50. You're 54, 55, was it? I think you said you're, so we're not too far apart.
54, yeah.
But like 20 years ago, I'm a bachelor, I'm single, but when I dated, a lot of times after, like, let's say a second, third date, you sprung for a nice dinner. I'm not saying something fucking over the top, but not a Taco Bell, but sprung for a nice dinner. Mm-hmm. Whether it was a movie, you went out bowling, or you did something, that she wanted to do. They come back to my apartment, we listen to some music, have some wine, and boom, we get it on. And she was just like, "Oh, okay. It's a nice guy. He sprung for a meal a couple of times. He's been really, seems like a gentleman. He spent some money on me. He's not a cheapskate. He's not just looking for a one-night stand." And boom, they put out. They're like, "Hey, you treat me nice. Let's, Now, this is more like Gen X women, but towards the later millennials and into like the Gen Z women, same thing, but then they want a lot of times want a handout, whether it's direct cash or, they got some favor, like, "Okay, I know you sprung for dinner a couple of times and you spent some money on me, took me shopping, and then we went out, did this and did that, but still, if I'm going to give you some, I want you to know, I'm going to have a little trouble with my car, or, I'm having a little trouble paying some bills or this or that." Like, like, what the fuck, I might as well just get paid a thing. But there's a lot of more material, when I'm getting at a lot more, I find the women more material when you get into the Gen Z and the later millennial. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it where the change happened. I can't say, "Oh, it was the Missy Elliott song that came out back in the early 2000s," and say, "Hey, make sure you get some," Like, that's my experience. I picked up on. I'm curious to hear what, your thoughts when you start talking like the Gen X women, millennial, and getting into like the Gen Z.
Yeah, the way that these young girls or whatever look, the way that young people nowadays really look at money, I don't even see how they survive on whatever they make, because they always act like whatever they get is not enough, and everything they seem to want is very expensive. I'm just glad that I've never been into young girls or nothing like that. So, you know what I mean? Like, but I have friends who are. So I have friends who are in their 40s and some who are in their 50s who will still date around with a chick in their in their 20s. And it really is all about the money. You know, and I mean, it's just an agreement that they're comfortable with. But, you know, they pay up front. And they seem to be okay with that. It's the tricking culture. So, but I've wondered in this tricking culture, are fake orgasms in part of the equation? Like, so you gonna pay every time you lay and get a fake orgasm too, or are you trying to make something out of this to whereas you won't have to pay one day? I mean, the goal is to get a girlfriend, ain't it? But I guess if you really just like, you know, I had this dude. I had this dude that I worked with. And I tell you, man, this was the proudest tricking dude I ever saw in my life. I've known dudes who were more than willing to pay for some ass. But this dude, like, it was like an obsession. He had books full of them. He was an internet tricking dude. Straight prostitution. I'm like, and you know, when somebody does something, how they kind of think everybody does it. So he's showing me these chicks like, yo, you know, you can get this one and that one. I'm like, nah, no, I can't get none of them. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I mean, listen, man, you do what you do, but trust and believe it's just what you do. I don't do nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. It was crazy. But hey, people do what works for them. So I guess when we're talking about faking orgasms, whoever fakes them, it's working for them. Now the question is it working for them on a regular basis, or are they doing a bunch of one-offs, I should say? I don't know. But I just think that it would be better to put yourself in a position where nobody had to fake anything. You know, I mean, most things that are real are better than things that are artificial. So I don't know. I mean, I've never seen pleather that looked better than leather. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just me. So I don't know. But there's an ego motivation behind faking orgasms. And that's a deep part of it. So you're either doing it for them or you're doing it for yourself. But if a woman fakes an orgasm with a man, I'm thinking that she's probably trying to protect his ego. She wants him to think that he's really doing something. But if you want to talk bad behind his back about it, then what's the point? What's the point in doing it? Unless like what we're talking about, there's a financial incentive behind it. You know what I mean? Like I scream, he pays. Scream, pay. Scream, ka-ching. Scream, ka-ching. Scream, ka-ching. Okay, I mean, if that works for all parties involved, then so be it.
You know, remind me of this. Carla was her name. It was about 5 years ago. Still at where I work now. She's no longer there. But similar. I don't know if she was having sex with the guys or what. But she had a different guy like every month because she was without a car, kind of down on our luck. It wasn't until about like a little over a year she finally was able to get her car. And she was behind on some bills. And anyway, she had a different guy she was seeing every month. And then I caught on to what was going on was she'd meet a lot of these guys at her church. And she was good looking, but she would, you know, use them to get a ride to work, get a ride home and whatnot, you know, for a while till they, you know, had enough. And I figured, oh, she's probably not putting out, or if she is putting out, they probably like, okay, I'm enough of this. This lady ain't going anywhere. But she went through, gosh, yeah, about 2 a month for almost a year, you know, till she got her ride settled down. But it was one of those things where kind of like, you know, a woman who needs money or something, that was her thing. But, you know, just something to come to mind. That's what they'll do sometimes, you know. That was she needed the ride and used the men, and who knows, you know, kind of like similar to how a woman would fake the orgasm. it's either, needs the money or there's some type of favor or something she needs from the guy, and boom, she'll do it often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sheesh. Yeah, man. I don't know. If it works for you, it works for you. But at some point, I'm thinking that you're gonna be looking for real pleasure. At some point, I mean, are you gonna have? Is it going to turn you into the type of person that has to cheat? Like you have one person that you don't have to fake orgasm with because they actually give you orgasms, and then you have to have another person who pays your bills or something like that. So you got to keep faking it with him. Like I don't know, man. It seems like it would have a negative effect on your soul. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. This shit just, there's a lot of layers to this shit. But you can't be in anyone's bedroom except for your own. So it's hard to get, like, unless somebody is really forthcoming. Like all of the women that have commented on this show tonight have said that they don't fake it. Mm-hmm. So we're not really getting the information that we might need about when you actually do fake it. Like, we need somebody to come and be like, yeah, I fake it all the time, man. I mean, like I gotta do what I gotta do. Sometimes I'm tired. Sometimes I just need my nails done. Sometimes, I just want to get back to this. I want to watch this TV program. Gotta get a little quick. Bang, 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 bang. Oh. Okay. I don't know. I need somebody who fakes it to kind of smooth this whole thing out. But yeah, you let's see. Zakana Corner says faking for the men who work hard to get you there makes sense. I've never done it. So yeah, even though like for her, it makes sense to her that some people would do it, but she still wouldn't do it herself.
You know what? Let me throw this your way, because I've done this back in my, let's say more 20s, early 30s. It's something, and I'm sure you've done this a few times. What we've faked on the men's side.
I've definitely done it.
Okay. Here's I've had a few times where I wanted to get laid. All right, let's say it's a second date. I had one lady was over having some drinks. Mm-hmm. What I'm faking is the interest in some of the shit she's telling me. I'll sound real interested. She'll tell me something I could give a shit less about, but I'll be like, "Oh wow, okay. You went to soccer practice with your niece? Oh, how'd they do at the game? Oh, cool. All right." They're just telling you something. I'm just faking it going along, watching her have a couple of drinks and get more in the mood. So you got to fake it, pretend that you're interested in what the hell she's saying. And you're just like, well, about an hour from now, we're going to be hitting that, And on the men's side, I find that I don't know, maybe we got the women still in the chat. We'll see what they comment on. But I mean, somewhat similar to what we're talking about the orgasm, but I've been guilty of that before, pretend I'm interested in something or or TV, that's another one, you got that glass of wine going and it's like, oh, Prince of Tides is out with Nick Nolte and Barbara Streisand. Oh yeah, I heard that's a great movie. Yeah, I'll watch that. Sure. And, but like safety, that's something we've been guilty of this man,
Yeah, that's a hard fake too, because a lot of times you really get tested for that because it might be something that's totally ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I can probably get into a romantic comedy here and there, something like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, a lot of times they will walk you down a road that you really don't want to go to. You know what I'm saying? So now if it can happen that night, you're good. But if you have to do this over a series of nights, still trying to get there. Like, you know how you have to mentally prepare yourself for somebody? Like what am I going to say if she says this? What am I going to say if she reacts this way? Because you might be dealing with a chick who's a loose cannon.
Mm-hmm.
The chick that I gave in the example that I gave, she wasn't somebody that could be talked to regularly. She was off the chain. Now, on the telephone, she was cool. But in person, it was a whole different story. But over the telephone or online and things like that, people can often, fake things or keep things under wraps until it's necessary. Face to face, it gets a lot harder. Cheryl Halsey says, "How does a man fake it?" Well, we were talking about acting like you like something that you really don't like, but a man can physically fake it also if he's wearing, because he can simulate the movement of a penis inside of a vagina as if it's coming, but not actually do it. And men have reasons for it too. Now, I've known some men who have done it because they were having sex with multiple women and they literally didn't want to spend a nut on one because they needed it for the next one. Shit like that. So
I haven't gotten that buck wild. Like I've been, I've done some shit. No, I haven't gotten that buck wild. We're like, damn, I got to give her a reason to get the hell out of here about 10 o'clock so I can get over to so and so's house by 11. Make sure I don't bust a nut.
Well, crazy shit. Like if you're talking about a let's say in the case where you're talking about a married man and he's cheating on his wife, he may have to service his wife when he comes home to prove that he was out doing the right thing and he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Shit like that. So it can get deep. And I've known some people. So yeah. So I've been told about faking it for that reason. Like I couldn't spend it here. I had another store I had to save the money for. I couldn't spend the money here. Your money's no good here, sir. You can't spend it here. And I'm, listen, like I said, you can't be in every man's bedroom, but there may have been, but I'll tell you what, hold on, before I finish that, I'll tell you what, if you've ever had sex with, let's say you've had sex with a woman who is tight and dry, and it's not getting better. It might be a safer bet for you to fake it and get on up out of there. You know what I mean? Even if you just have to fake like you're tired. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't fake busting a nut, but I faked like I was tired so I can get out of here, because she might be scraping your shit all up. It can get physically dangerous after a while. Now, it's hard for some women to believe that other women don't get as wet as they do. I've heard women say all kinds of things like, that just means you weren't pleasing her or you didn't do enough to turn her on. I'm like, that let's say that you're true. I mean, that what you're saying is true. You don't think that woman, has enough sense to let you know? Because I'm thinking, if you're uncomfortable, she has to be uncomfortable too. That's skin on skin.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to be in pain later, she's going to be in pain too. There's a chance that she could swell up and all that kind of shit. So it doesn't really pay for either party to be dishonest or less than forthcoming. So, and if you're dealing with a woman who doesn't really get that wet. Some women can only get, but so vaginal wetness is like hair growth. You know how genetically your hair only grows but so long. I don't care how long you let it grow. It's only going to get but so long. You're not going to Crystal Gale this shit. You know what I mean? It ain't going to happen. Same thing with vaginal wetness. That's it. So some women's splash might be some women's sponge. Be like that's as wet as she can get. That's it. Like that's it. That's it. Whereas you might have needed a life raft with, you may have needed a lifeguard with somebody else. So another woman will never really understand that, because a woman can't enter another woman and really know how it is. Like even with your
tongue, they can.
Even with that, because there's a difference. There's a difference.
Yeah, true.
Only a man knows what a woman feels like on the inside. And only a man with a real penis knows what the chemistry is between a vagina and a penis. You understand what I mean? Like the chemistry, but that happens between them can turn the faucet on more than any plastic ever will. But a lot of women don't understand that, and they shouldn't, because they don't have a tool that allows them to feel the spiritual and the scientific chemistry connection between a man and a woman. So when a man tells another woman about another woman, when a man tells a woman about another woman, she may or may not understand. She may try to understand, but she may not really get it. It may be a little above her. Like it's not going to really kick in the way that another man would totally understand. Like, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. A woman would never really understand that. You know, they just can't have sex with a woman the way a man can. And a woman just doesn't know how another woman feels. Maybe emotionally she can connect, but physically a woman doesn't know what another woman is going through emotionally, physically when it comes to sex. You know, it's just not the same. It's not the same. So, yeah.
I don't know if that's something a gynecologist, if I'm saying it correctly, can fix, as far as if, she ain't getting wet enough. I'm sure there's different reasons. Maybe, some might be with their diet, I don't know, blood pressure, where it's something the doctor might be able to fix. Who knows? I don't know everything, but.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it may be wet enough for some men.
Yeah.
It may be. So yeah. You have to find a person for you. But if a man is used to a woman who is basically like a faucet, and then he gets with one who is basically like a partially mopped floor.
Or, maybe you can just get a good job of Vaseline and put that on the condom, and, maybe that might kind of, do the job.
Well, you're not supposed to put anything oil-based in the vagina, so that actually would make it worse. Yeah, now maybe some KY, but not. Stay away from petroleum jelly. Yeah, you're not going to do either one of you any good. You can send both of you to the doctor. Honestly, that's not a good look. But yeah, just trying to come to the understanding between two people. It's not always a slam dunk. It's not always easy, but we got to try. All right, we have hit the 4 o'clock mark. Yay!
All right, hey, take care. I'll be in the chat, man.
All right, man. I appreciate
I'm talking
you.
with you as always.
Yeah, thanks for calling in.
You bet, son. Yeah, bye.
Good stuff. I want to thank y'all in advance for coming through, listening to the show, participating, laughing in the background if something made you laugh. Thanks for coming through. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. Let's do these birthday shout outs. And then we can all be released to either go to bed or go to work. All right, we have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious December 19th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and make it feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number 1 out the box, Tanya Ledwell. Happy birthday to you, and also Gloria Leverson. Happy birthday, and Kishi Robinson. Kishi Robin. I'm overreading, underreading. Happy birthday to you, and also Dorothy Brown. Brown. Happy birthday, and last but not least, my man Rob Edwards. Happy birthday to you. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all, and anyone else out there who shares this birthday on this glorious December 19th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up, but don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, to rock out, rock on and do the damn, rock out, rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And yo, you ain't got to do this to the man. Yo, teach him how to work the thing if you can. You ain't got to hurt nobody's feelings. Yo, you should still get your shit off and don't let it go soft. Yo, sex is a normal thing that happens between people and even animals and shit. So you should never have to fake it. But if you fake it, only do it so you can make it better the next time. You ain't gotta hurt nobody. Yo, we talk about your body, you a hottie, and maybe you are attracted to them. And if you're not attracted to them, why would you do them? Well, we all have the reasons. I said reasons. Only have the reasons that we feel our feelings won't let us fake it. But you faking it even though you're naked. What the hell is going on? I can't take the shit. But it's personal. You do what you think you gotta. I don't have to hear about a experience that you had. I hope that my mom didn't have to do it with my dad. But you never know. I don't know what's going on nowadays with these. Nah, we ain't going to take it there. I ain't going to have an overdrive. I ain't going to really share my thoughts and feelings about the stuff. It gets kind of appealing. I know life is tough, but it ain't that hard like a dick. But I ain't trying to be the one that got the wrong pick. We all got choices, and we all can lift our voices. I said, lift every voice and sing. Stop fighting and faking for the king. You ain't got to do that. Nobody making you. Why are you out here faking, dude? Well, I hope things improve and you can one day try to bust a real move. There's nothing more beautiful than a man and a woman working it out, not jerking and shouting. All right. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. I love y'all. Right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night at 2 a.m. 2 a.m. 2 a.m. 2 a.m. 2 a.m. 2 a.m. So make sure y'all come on through. All right, so we can get them out of here. Yes. Yeah. Let me get you out of your uniform there. Much obliged, sir and madam. All right. Y'all have a good night. See y'all tomorrow. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Peace, y'all. All right.